in the morning, heart of South Philly. Let's go see what the people have got to say. I'm ready to roll, baby.
Now listen here, Dutch. Mets and the Cowboys, they suck.
1, 2, 3, go Birds! Go Birds! Here we got 302BIRDS, Keystone State. Go Birds! Oh my gosh, chat.
Your favorite Chicagoan. Go Phils.
As always, God bless. Go Birds.
Get your water ice and soft pretzels ready because you are now tuned into a 302BIRDS podcast experience. Proudly presented by TickPick, Nick's Pizza, El Diablo Burritos, and Klondike Kate's on the heart of Main Street. Let's take it to the show.
Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to another episode of 302BIRDS. And it's during the holiday season. So that means old Matt Coy over there is going to be rocking the Christmas hat. Dutchie's going to be rocking the Christmas shirt. If you guys want to get one of these, shout out to our guy from NIL Sports, Dustin. He crushes it with these and his editors. But this bad boy, the Philly Vacation shirt, if you guys want one, go get one. Link is in the bio. No affiliation, of course, with Christmas Vacation, but an awesome movie that we want to support. But what's going on, guys? Crazy week right now in Philly sports. A lot of things to talk about, from A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts drama to the Battle of Pittsburgh or the Battle of Pennsylvania ahead. A lot of things on the horizon, and we're even going to get into some Penn State college football talk with old Matt Coy over there tonight. So going to be a jam-packed episode. But without further ado, I'm going to, as I always do, kick it to Jackson here for our call-ins.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo Burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking how your day is. Their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302BIRDS sent you. God bless, go Birds.
Like it said, if you're in Delaware, go to your local El Diablo burrito place and get a nice fat burrito. Tonight we have a famous 50 on the phone. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, gang? My team, what's up?
What's up, Vince?
How you doing, man? Y'all good?
Doing good, doing good.
Man, if it wasn't enough, I was already shaky after that Carolina win, right? But what y'all think about the A.J. Brown stuff, man? What you think about Jalen Hurts? Y'all team A.J. or y'all team Jalen?
So, I don't know.
Team Philly.
I'm a Team Philly because
all the time, brother. All the time.
yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, I knew it wasn't that big of a deal. BG kind of let out the dirty laundry on live air. But, I mean, as we saw in a post-game interview from A.J. Brown against the Ravens, he said, as long as they win, that's all that matters. And he even reiterated that tonight when they had another interview. So I'm not too worried about it. I mean, my biggest fear is, though, that this is all out, that they're going to target A.J. Brown against the Steelers and target him way too much, and we're going to have some turnovers. I know Jalen Hurts said on WIP or when he was getting interviewed today that, kind of gun-shy due to all the turnovers he had for the first couple of weeks, but I'm not too worried about it. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix, and you got to run the ball. I mean, Saquon Barkley just broke his all-time season rushing record. So keep running the ball.
I agree with that to an extent, but it was a time, I want to say about 20 years ago. We had Brian Westbrook, Donovan McNabb, and T.O. And at the time, Westbrook was a beast. But Terrell Owens, and I wasn't on Team T.O. side, but I'm on I'm always, first of all, I'm always Team Philly.
Yes,
But I'm Team A.J. on this one, man. And shout out to my boy Stitch and my boy Tom, who I always argue with. But they're my Jalen Hurts haters. But facts is facts. Jalen Hurts ain't really cutting it, man. I rock with him because he an Eagle. I always rock with the Eagles. But, you know, you kind of on that short leash. Carson Wentz was the man until he wasn't. And that it looks like you're not the man. Hopefully we can get through this. Like I said, I was uneasy through that Carolina game. But the Eagles got a habit of playing down to their competition, and it always bites them sometimes. And I don't want that to be the case. I think we can have a good game against Pittsburgh, but I don't want them to focus too heavy on A.J. because, shit, that's what Pittsburgh's going to do.
Yeah.
I'll say this, Fitz. I think that, honestly, hearing these interviews, I mean, you heard the interview from Brandon Graham, which kind of stirred the whole controversy, and you saw 94.
And on that note, I heard on WIP this morning they did that on purpose. Like that was like kind of like a last resort type thing. Like that was the only way the problem's getting solved. So it's probably been going on all year, probably since the end of last year, for real. Because you know Jalen Hurts had that good run. When he first replaced Wentz, and he had that good run till about the middle of last year. So he was sitting 10-2. And I don't know, man. Like once they get in their head, it's like, oh my gosh, what do y'all think about Jake Elliott?
Yeah, I mean, with Jake, I think it's. I was talking to some people about this. I think with him, it's a repetition kind of thing, and I think with the team, especially Sirianni, not trusting him in certain scenarios where they feel like they can go for it on fourth down. They feel like they can convert, and then sometimes they don't. I think that kind of stirs up with Jake Elliott's confidence, and that's what's kind of making him a little bit like, all right, you want me to kick a field goal now? And then when he does it, obviously it seems like he's just lost his confidence. And I mean, it sucks to see that, but I mean, back to the whole AJ and Jalen thing. I know people are worried. I know Fitz was telling us he was worried about it. I don't think it's a T.O. Donovan thing as much as it was last year. I think it'll be we know, but we don't need to.
I know I bust his balls a lot, but that's actually a true fact. I mean, he's actually not. He's not wrong on that.
A lot of Tucker, missing.
What happened with Tucker and the Ravens? We got lucky as fuck. I know the guy whose girlfriend is a Ravens fan over there definitely agrees with that statement, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because the kickers were on the first half of the season, and then all of a sudden, since our boy Justin Tyrus started missing field goals, every kicker now is off.
So let me ask y'all a question, right? We're in the NFC Championship game. We're playing Detroit. We're down by 2 points. We're at the 23-yard line. It's 4th and 15. What do you do?
Well, we already know what Dalt's going to do. He's going to spin the wheel.
I'm going to spin the fucking wheel and roll the dice. You know what? I mean,
we already know what Dalt's going to do.
Here's the thing.
Spin the wheel.
We saw it earlier in the year. They are going to come for Nick Sirianni's head if he doesn't kick the field goal there. So it's like you gotta trust in your kicker. I will say, if Jake Elliott misses that field goal, though,
it's a no-win situation.
Yeah, I don't think he's the kicker of the team next year, unfortunately, with the way that the season went. And then if he missed in such a crucial moment like that, Philly's that city that they would be like, hey, it's been real.
I don't even want him to be the kicker next week. Get him up out of there. I'm loyal to the laundry, not the player, man. Get him up out of there, man. Get him up out of there. But like I said, that's a no-win situation. What you say, Dutch?
Sometimes players are off. You don't think so? Or you think he's just done?
You got one job. One job. You're not reading defenses. You're not tackling. You're not juking and jiving. You're just kicking the ball. That's it. If you can't do that one thing, we can get Alex Henry back in here. I'm pretty sure that David Akers still got something in the tank.
Oh, my God.
Alex Henry, I forgot about him. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
man, I'm not trusting you.
Flashbacks now, like not good ones.
Wasn't he the kicker that would go like this? He would do the motion. He would go straight. He'd be like,
I think he was. Oh my God, man, you got me sweating over here. But hey,
like Jack was doing.
I got one question for Fitzy before we wrap up our call-in segment. Fitzy, What's your prediction this week for the Pittsburgh game for our Birds Battle of Pennsylvania?
Whoo! I was confident after the Baltimore win. Not so confident after the Carolina win. I think this is a tough one, man. I don't even think it's a high-scoring game. I think final score 17-15. Ironically, Pittsburgh win with a field goal kick.
Oh, God. I don't like hearing that at all.
I don't like hearing that at all.
Yeah.
I'm just the realist. I don't like hearing it, but man, we witnessed it. Like, we witnessed the T.O. Donovan thing. Like, they were unstoppable. They were unstoppable. And that one beef destroyed everything. It's history repeating itself, man.
And they still
as
got
much as
beef
I
to
don't
this
want to
day.
admit it, what's that, Dutch?
They still got beef to this day.
Yeah, man, to this day. Yo, I seen some with Freddie Mitchell and T.O. talking about that A.J. And I just think like history going to repeat itself, man.
I think so.
We didn't live the T.O. McNabb thing because we were all like 3 and 4 years old.
Yeah,
my bad. I'm showing my age. I'm showing my age.
Just enough to remember
I hate to tell you
that the Eagles had issues, and looking back on it, we've seen it in film. I think we're aware, and especially we're aware of the tweets, like you said, Fitz, with the Freddie Mitchell thing. To this day, I mean, that shit is really fucking funny that these two are still going at it with each other on Twitter.
This beef happened 20 years ago, and they still talking about it.
When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this can't be real. But Fitz, I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for the support. We appreciate it.
No doubt, always. All my guys, man.
We'll see you soon, hopefully at a game. And if we don't, have a good Christmas, my man.
You too, man. Y'all be safe out there.
Hold on, KJ. Do that again. Yeah, there it is. KJ has the good wing flaps. I'm down for it. He's got the passionate eagle.
Oh, yeah.
Passionate eagle. Now,
I studied the bald eagle whole kind of wingspan thing. So I studied that for years. So, yeah, I know.
I hope that your claim about the bald eagle is right, which we can talk about later in the show when we get to the Eagles, because that's actually a good point. But even though the man, the myth, the legend's not here, I will still respect him and hit his intro for his segment. Time for Phillies talk with Bob Tani. Ginger Stitch.
What are you talking about? I'm right here, Dutch. I'm right here.
Check out Nick's Pizza. Tom, a.k.a. KJ over there. The pizza was so damn good, he finished it. He didn't even save one for me. So that's just a free advertising.
It is true. That is true, Nick's Pizza.
It was that good.
Oh, it was great. It was great pizza. I love that kind of style.
Another great thing, hopefully, we called and talked with Rome about it before. Phillies get Jordan Romano from the Blue Jays. How are you feeling about this pickup, KJ? You think it's solid for our Phils?
I think it's great. I mean, we got Ray Romano's cousin. I mean, that's a great thing, and he's totally proud of his nephew for going to the Phillies now. Actually, he's not related to Ray Romano, or he might be. I don't know if he's related to him. I might be wrong. But yeah, no. I think from what I've heard, I mean, this guy has been a great closing pitcher for the Blue Jays, if I'm not mistaken. There was also some other trades that happened today, some other signings. I think Max Fried went to the Yankees. And then there was also another trade. I think we traded away another pitcher, but it wasn't anybody that I haven't even heard of. So I think, you know what, we need more closers. It's good to get some more arms in the bullpen for sure, and somebody else to see if we can actually end a game and not feel like we're biting our nails every like ninth inning of the game and we're like, oh my gosh, it's to the wire. But hopefully this guy can really just come out there for the Phils and just deliver. So we'll see what happens, and I'm excited to see what he's got.
Jack, Josh, any thoughts on it?
I think it's December. Don't.
I feel like Jack's going to say something along the same lines, right?
Eagles are 11-2. I don't. The Phillies are going to lose, and they're going to get to the NLCS again.
The one thing
honestly,
I don't care. 98-mile-per-hour fastball. That's pretty good.
But Zep, it's Ray Romano's cousin, though.
Who's Ray Romano? I don't know who that is.
Who the fuck is Ray Romano?
How do you go?
Anyway,
oh gosh.
Honestly, like I say, when we had the Tick Pick advertisement, it is football season right now.
Yeah.
Philly season, so I don't give a rat's ass about these Phillies right now. It's not my ballpark. Ha, get it? Ballpark. But yeah, I guess it's something that we needed, and I'm glad we got a closing pitcher because we didn't really have one last season. So that's all I got to say.
I feel like every year our bullpen is the issue. So it doesn't matter.
No, not at all.
Go Birds! The Phillies and the Sixers are the same team. It's either we never have like a shooter or we never have like a bullpen.
Well, speaking on that note,
You are now listening to KJ's Court Sixers Talk presented by the Sleeper app.
Yeah, I mean, as Zep just said, I mean, the Sixers and the Phillies are probably the same team. They're getting our hopes up right now, and they're probably going to crush it when it comes to the postseason. So, yeah, pretty much the same thing. But, I mean, I still stick with all my Philly teams, ride or die. That's what we do as Philly fans. We drive ourselves crazy to the point that we sometimes want to jump in the Schuylkill River, and that's how it is. Yeah, I think with the Sixers right now, I mean, I thought that Embiid wanted nothing to do with this team. It actually is the opposite right now. Embiid is actually practicing. He is persevering through some injuries, it seems like. And I'm not going to say I was wrong about him because I've lost a lot of respect for him. But I will say, though, like, all right, kudos to you for actually, like, playing now. I'm still pissed off at you for doing this whole, like, catastrophe and everything like that. And the city, I mean, sometimes, I mean, I think there's some people who are still pissed off at you, as they should be. But I got my eye on you, though, Embiid, as the city does. We have our eyes on you, bud. So do not come up with any sneaky shit like you've done before. No Ben Simmons crap, all right? No Ben Simmons crap.
So I saw something, a graphic today, and I forget what it was, but it was like Joel Embiid for God, who'd he get traded to? Like this was like a potential thing. Anyway, but it was like 6 players for Joel Embiid, and it would have been a great pickup if it was real life. Embiid, you know, Michael Jordan played in the finals through the flu, and this motherfucker can't play back-to-back games because of his injury. Like, come on now. Like, you are a generational talent, but you have not done really much since you've been in the league. You sat out your whole rookie season on injury, and when it matters, you don't do shit. Like, in the playoffs, it seems to me that you don't really try, especially after his MVP season that he had 2 years ago. It looked like he wasn't even trying. And I don't care if he was injured or what, but it just like he is a cancer to this team. If we have him beat on this team, we're not going to go anywhere at all.
Yep.
Nah,
that's how it is.
We're going to be fine.
No.
I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. The Sixers are going to make the playoffs.
Are they, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to lose again. But, like,
yeah.
We also don't know how much of this is Embiid's like doing and how much of this is like the organization's doing, right?
Oh yeah.
So just
the organization,
just enjoy it, have no expectations, and you'll be fine.
Just like the Flyers.
Yeah.
No, I have expectations for the Flyers.
No, you don't. Don't have expectations.
No, I do.
Don't have expectations.
He has slut shots with Zep. That's what he has.
Mitch Ruff is so good. Mitch Ruff is so good. That dude is fucking great.
Yeah, that kid's insane.
He's 20. Sorry.
Yeah. He's 19, I thought.
No, he turned 20.
He turned 20.
Yeah, can we get this cancer team off this
The Sixers are fine. The Sixers are going to be fine. The Sixers are going to make the playoffs. They're going to be like 6 seed. Whatever. Who cares?
we are
Penn State.
No.
AJ. History at Beaver Stadium for the
Let's
Nittany
go.
Lions hosting SMU in their first ever college football playoff game. How excited for you are this game?
I'm pumped. I'm very pumped. I mean, it was a real letdown when they lost to the Oregon Ducks, which they could have won that game. I mean, they were close. I mean, it was to the end. And that was just good old James Franklin just crushing our freaking hopes and dreams. But Chaos Chris is right, though. Penn State might be one of the luckiest teams. I agree with him with this total opinion. They are one of the luckiest teams. Still a fan of them, but I mean, we'll see what happens with SMU. I think they should beat SMU. And then they will probably take on – they're actually going to take on Boise State, which will be a pretty good matchup from what I've heard from my buddy Mikey D. You don't want to mess with Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, they got that running back, what's his name, Genty?
Ashton Genty. My dog.
That guy's insane. So they got to watch out. And it's going to be a very entertaining college football playoff. I mean, you got way more teams than ever before. So, I mean, I love the format. I'm excited for it. And we'll see what happens. And it's funny to see Dalt becoming a Penn State fan. And
No. Dalton, why are you a Penn State fan? KJ, why are you a Penn State fan? You can't just be a Penn State fan if you live in
Okay, no. I have been a Penn State fan since 2020. All right, 2020.
He made a whole video about it on his TikTok.
KJ, listen to this. Listen to this.
Did you make a whole video about it on your TikTok?
I live in Pennsylvania.
Wait,
yeah, it makes sense.
KJ,
I live in Pennsylvania. Jack, you root for Notre Dame, man. Notre Dame.
Well,
like a bunch of the Americans do for no reason. For no reason. Because I have Irish descent. I'm a Notre Dame fan.
I'm gotta have your back right here. The reason why Josh is acting like this is because he has this what do you want to call it? Belief? A code that you can't be a fan of a team if there is no ties to it. So he blows my shit up for being a Notre Dame fan, even though I have cousins that went there. So that's why he's saying, "Oh, you live in Pennsylvania, you're a Penn State fan." That's why he's like that. And it doesn't mean shit.
Josh, who should I root for as a fan? Delaware? Because Delaware is my number one college football team.
Like you don't.
I don't. That's the thing. But if I had to pick a team, like this weekend, I'll watch this game and I'll root for Penn State.
In all honesty, Dalton,
it's not this weekend, by the way.
You should.
Sorry, next weekend.
It's not this weekend. It is not this weekend.
You should be a Terps fan or a Rutgers fan because you lived in Maryland and you were born in New Jersey.
Oh, but their uniforms are uglier.
Okay, but here's the reason, Zepp. I'm going to tell you the reason why. Okay, so I went to a small college, as you know. I went to a small college. They didn't have a football team. The college is gone now. And the thing is, too, one of my best friends, childhood friends, my friend Siegel, we'll just call him Siegel. His name's Josh, too. He went to Penn State. I went there to visit him. And when I went there, it was the time of my freaking life. And I just fell in love with the whole culture. I wasn't a college football fan before. I was a pro guy. I was all into the Eagles. And ever since, I've been a Penn State fan. And I've always.
I'm going to take over your segment here, KJ. I'm sorry. Penn State.
This isn't his segment.
It's not my segment, bozo.
Penn State football is my third least favorite college sport. It's Duke basketball is number one, and then anything Notre Dame, and then Penn State football. That being said, KJ, my cousins go to Penn State, and I have gone there to party 3 separate times. It's like a whole different. Campus is crazy. Penn State's a great time. But
exactly, that's what I'm saying. How could you not fall in party? I'm saying.
I keep behind the football team.
Hey, Dalton.
That's what I'm saying. I just fell in love with it, man. I really did.
Let me take you back. I don't know. Let's call it in the summertime when college football came out. We did this fantasy, team. And I think my team was Boise State. That's who I picked for the Dynasty League. And Boise State is playing phenomenal football right now. Ashton Genty is a beast. I think they have a chance to win the Natty this year, like with 100%. Oregon's a good team. Penn State's a good team.
Screwed over Oregon.
Like whatever, who cares? I don't really care about Oregon. But I mean, this is
what are they ranked right now? 10. They were 10
Oregon's
last week in their game, right? Boise State.
Boise State. Boise State's like
they were at 10 last week, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they got a bye because they won their division.
Yep.
They won their conference.
So I think Penn State can win this game in 2 weeks. And then it's gonna be a pissing match with Boise State. I really do believe in that. So that's all I got to say. I mean, I do love. We haven't really talked about it. I do love how they set up this college football playoffs this year because it gave some teams some time to like actually try and play games and win games. So I'm glad with how they did it. And I don't really care. Alabama's not in it. Alabama fans, coaches are all pissed off about it. But I mean, you lose to Oklahoma. You lose to Vanderbilt, and then who was the third loss they had lost to? Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia.
So I mean, yeah, they don't deserve to be in it, and so this is going to be a fun playoff next couple weeks actually to watch.
And Zeb, also to tell you this too, I'm in a Penn State group chat with a bunch of people. So
you should leave. You should
leave
that group.
Nope. I will never do that. I will never leave. Those guys are my guys. I will never leave.
No. Maryland has the most Big Ten championships and joined the Big Ten.
They suck, Josh.
What the hell? A terrapin is a horrible version of a turtle. It's a horrible little weak version of
most
a turtle.
vicious, long-living, and fastest type of turtle. KJ, actually,
nope, that's a snapping turtle.
Nope,
that's a snapping turtle. Different turtle. Snapping turtle's different. Snapping turtle's
different. What the fuck are we even talking about? Jesus.
Well, a terrapin is a turtle, and he's trying to say it's the most vicious one. Obviously, it's a snapping
founder of
turtle.
Under Armour went to Maryland. Okay, who went to Penn State?
Who went to Penn State?
Don't make him pull up the notable alumni list.
Went to Penn State. LeVar Arrington went to Penn State. Let me think of who else. Oh, Franco Harris. Franco Harris, one of the best running backs of all time, went to Penn State. I hate him to death, but Micah Parsons, he went to Penn State, unfortunately, but I hate him. He's a Cowboy. And Miles Sanders, our boy. Yeah, Miles Sanders, Dalton's boy.
Sorry, I had to say that. But you guys can talk about your notable alumni for your respective college football teams after in the Discord. If you guys want, join our Discord. That's a nice opportunity to tell you guys. Discord is awesome. The next topic we're going to talk about is the Eagles injury report. I'm just going to read it out loud to you guys real quick. This is the injury report from Wednesday today. Thank you to NBC Sports Philadelphia for the credit on this. Did not practice. You got Becton, A.J. Brown. These guys were both rest. Then you got Sidney Brown, who's the knee. Landon Dickerson, rest. You got CJ rest. That makes sense. Lane Johnson, personal. Darius Slay, rest. Sweat, rest. And then limited Reed Blankenship with his concussion. Jalen Carter with the shoulder. Britton Covey, neck. And then Cooper DeJean, rest. And then full practice, Nakobe Dean and Jalen Hurts. Nakobe Dean dealing with something with his elbow. Jalen Hurts dealing with something in his left finger. But the injuries are starting to stack up later in the season. Not like we didn't know that this was going to happen. This isn't rocket science. As you get later in the year, colder football, more things start happening. Nobody's invincible, unfortunately. But where I'm really starting to get concerned on this injury report is the safety position. And it's really funny because if you would have asked me 2 or 3 weeks ago, hey, Dalt, how are you feeling about the whole safety position for the Eagles? I would have said, oh, this is unstoppable. This position going into the year was kind of a question mark, but they had all these young guys in the secondary really playing well. The safeties were all playing well. They almost had a plethora of just guys, defensive backs. But now, especially at safety, they're dealing with a lot of injuries. And they don't have necessarily a lot of depth besides, CJ, Blankenship, Sidney Brown, and of course, I'm drawing out one more person. Oh, of course, Reed.
Maddox too.
Maddox, yeah. But
Maddox.
I mean, besides that, it's gonna be somebody else. I don't know if is Justin Evans still on the team, the safety that we got from Tampa Bay.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I'm going to have to do a brief lookup of the safeties, but they don't have a lot of depth. So how are you guys feeling about the injury report?
Well, first off, Dennis, your boy Sidney Brown is injured as well. So I stop that nonsense talking about my boy Reed Blankenship. But yeah, I mean, this is tough because I think this is a game that we want to see most of our starters playing and be healthy because then, not to push anything aside, but the Cowboys game coming up, the Commanders game is going to be a tough one, and the last 3 games are going to be hopefully easy wins. So rather, get all of our stars out there that stay healthy and then kind of rest next week. Because we play the Commanders next week, don't we?
Yeah.
Fuck. Never mind. But yeah, I mean, it's concerning for sure. It's concerning.
I'm looking at this injury report. The only person who's not going to play is Sidney Brown. He's the only person who actually has a real injury. All the limited participant people are definitely going to play. I think we're actually semi-healthy right now. We've been worse this late in the season. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think you got to think of it like this. I mean, next man up. And I mean, that's always a mentality you got to have in your mindset. And this team has been down that road before. I mean, we saw it in 2017. Obviously, this isn't 2017. This is not the same roster as 2017. It's not the same story. But I think this team kind of knows, all right, you know what? If a player goes down, then the next man's got to come up and they got to perform. So, and I think with having Vic Fangio with the old school defense he actually runs, I think this team knows the expectations and what's really expected from them. So I think, yeah, it's a huge loss to not be having Blankenship right now. And I know Dennis is like, that's not a huge loss because he's shit. Well, I mean, he was pretty much he had a couple interceptions, and I mean, like he is pretty clutch when it comes to that. And I think that's just yeah, I mean, sometimes it just happens in football. I mean, you get injuries and just next man up. That's why I think about it.
It's a great mentality to have. And I think that the rest of the team should hopefully get it together on the injury front. Luckily for the Eagles, a lot of this is limited. But moving along to our next topic, very much had to get out the heart monitor for Sunday's ending. Xavier Legette almost having that catch there in the end zone and almost ending it for Eagles to a way, way worse team. But look, I understand not every game's going to be perfect, especially when you're this good, but it felt like there were a lot of mistakes that were made. It felt like Jalen Hurts could have played a little bit better. The only people that I would really give a pass in this game is, of course, the secondary. Secondary, I thought, played well. Linebackers have played great all year. They made the tackles I felt like they needed to. Defense overall, I guess I would say, played pretty good. But the offense, and like A.J. Brown alluded to, which we'll get to here in a bit, actually our next topic, but Jalen Hurts just isn't airing it out the same way that he was. I saw a stat, too, that said something like when Saquon Barkley goes down in the end zone 11 times, Jalen Hurts has taken a touchdown from that. And Saquon Barkley, I believe, would have 22 rushing touchdowns if that wasn't the case. So it just feels like Jalen is, I don't want to say getting by because I don't want to discredit what he did, but maybe blending in right now to the rest of that offense. When, as Eagles fans, we're used to seeing him stand out. He's only had one game this year with 300 plus passing yards. So, and look, I know that Jalen isn't typically a passer, but I think as fans, at least I would like to see him develop and have at least maybe two more 300 passing yard games. I mean, it just feels like there's a lot of 110, 120, 130 passing yard games, which there's a lot of them if you guys go look.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I said this, getting into this game, this is going to be a lot closer game than expected because, like I said, all these games that we expect to win by a lot, like the Browns and especially this game, they're usually a lot closer. I mean, you got to keep the defense off the field the majority of the second half because the past 2 weeks that defense has been on the field the majority of the snaps in the second half, and they got to be tired, but they're resilient and they bounce back. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, like I said, top of the show, we'll talk about it in a little bit. I think he's more gun shy than he's ever been because the first couple of weeks, he played decently well, but he had a few turnovers, and that kind of, like you were saying on WIP today, may give him some PTSD because, like Jameis Winston, for example, he fucking airs it out every game. Yeah, he has 3 picks, but he also has 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, I think if we can build this confidence and not, let Jalen Hurts kind of, as we said, he is a game manager, play this game that he wants to, and let him do what he is best at. And that's, RPOs, that is stay in the pocket, going deep here and there. And I'm not saying every play go deep. But he has to be more confident because, yes, we have Saquon Barkley who's having an MVP season this year. But you gotta spread the wealth a little bit as well. But yeah, I mean, definitely some poor decision making. He had not the greatest game. I think he only had 150 yards thrown, or maybe less than that.
It was like 110.
Yeah, so we got to see those numbers bumped up. I wouldn't say 300 plus. I think 250 is a good number to be at. But yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I don't really care about the yards. More so like his decision making. I think the big thing Sunday wasn't so much the passes he threw. It was just more so the passes he didn't throw and taking sacks where he could have thrown the ball away. But it's a weird situation because you lose A.J. Brown early in the season, then you have the bye, then you come back, you become a run-heavy offense, which is the right move. But then you lose Devontae Smith. Okay, then you lose Goddard. So he hasn't really had all his weapons. It feels like the offense is always like one of the 11 players away from like being perfect. And I think he kind of saw that Sunday. But I will also say that game was reminiscent of a December 2022 game where you have a struggling young quarterback, Bryce Young, Justin Fields, where the Eagles come in and play a really close game. The Eagles were a one-loss team at the time. Played a really close game against a really bad Chicago Bears team with Justin Fields kind of taking the head. And it kind of goes to show you that the difference between a bad football team in the NFL and a good football team in the NFL isn't a whole lot. You know, there's a lot of fight between those teams. And I think winning games you shouldn't win is the best sign of a good team. Winning games when you have an off night, whether it is the passing game or whether it's just any part of the team in general, that's a good sign. So I was not, I mean, I think Jack and I were on the same page that we were not taking the Panthers lightly going into this game.
Yeah.
So I think that's a game you can win, you can burn the tape and go into a better opponent.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I think with the Carolina game, I mean, yeah, I said this before too. I expected it to be a trap game, and that's what it was. I mean, that's exactly what it was. Jalen, I mean, I saw the comment, shout out to Terrell Johnson. He actually really kind of hit this right on the hit the nail on the hammer, whatever you want to call it. What Dalton knows is the whole
hit the nail on the head.
Nail on the head. I don't care. You know what? But I will say this, though. I care that Terrell Johnson actually said this. Yeah, Jalen needs to stop holding onto the ball. I agree 100%. I mean, there's some times where he's holding onto the ball for like 11 seconds, maybe like 5 plus, like maybe like 6 or 7, which I mean is honestly it's too long. And also, I mean, like avoiding the sacks. Yes, he avoided like 2 sacks, but that was about it. He got sacked like 4 times in that game. And that is not good, especially. I mean, and like there's some times where he should have thrown the ball away. Yeah, he should have thrown the ball away. So, yeah, I think with Jalen, though, this was a game, though, where you can be like, all right, you know what? It's a bad game. You just gotta like brush it off. You got to move on. So I think if he doesn't move on from this, yes, we could be concerned. This is why I'm not concerned, though, because I think, though, it's only one game where we feel like, you know what, he had 100 yards passing, like 109 or something like that. But that's like, besides that, though, he's had 200-yard games. He's had 300 passing yard game. So, I mean, yes, like we got to realize this, though, too. We're a running football team. We're a running football team. Sirianni said that as well recently. So, yeah, I mean, we don't need Jalen to have a 300, 400 passing yard game every game. We don't need it because we need Saquon to do his thing. We need him to go out there and ball out as well. So we need to feed him the ball because he's like one of our best players on the team. So that's what I think. I think that I'm not too concerned about Jalen's play so far because I do feel like he will bounce back. He's a really motivated player. I believe in his whole process and everything like that. So I know people are really doubting him and people are like, oh yeah, let's draft a quarterback next year. Let's move on the next year. Get a draft pick, draft a young quarterback. No, stop. Shut up, dude. I mean, here's the thing. Believe in Jalen Hurts. He has been to a Super Bowl. We have made the playoffs the last 4 years. All right. So just come on, stop with the bull crap. I know it's hard to believe in Jalen Hurts, but he has the talent around him. He is set up for success. That's what I think.
One thing to follow up on that, KJ, I think a big issue Sunday was like him holding the ball and taking sacks. But one thing I did notice, because I did watch the replay, they ran RPOs, and your offensive linemen get downfield in RPOs. So when you hold the ball, Jalen Hurts is going to have to start running with it, even if he has to take a slide. Because the issue is he can't throw the ball away because it's going to draw a flag. So, like, he took that 9-yard sack where he kind of just slid and everybody was like, what'd he do? He said he was afraid to throw the ball away because if you throw the ball away, it's a 5-yard penalty, like replay down. So that is kind of something that's an offensive scheme issue. So I do think, like, Kellen Moore has to get in his ear and be like, hey, throw the pass quick. If not, you just got to take off and run right away. Because the holding in the pocket on these RPOs, that's an issue. And that's more coaching than playmaking.
I think I saw a stat too, and it was earlier in the year that he has the longest release time, or he's at the bottom, like 28, 29,
it's
30.
Fine if it's not an RPO. We have the offensive line to hold up. Like he can buy time back there and then not throw it away. That's fine. The issue is when you run that RPO, your offensive linemen cannot stay in one place. They're going to obviously move downfield, run blocking, and it just becomes an issue. So that's got to be a quick draw, or he's just got to take off with it.
Yeah. Now, something that we've been waiting to get to the main part of the show, but before we get to it, time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia with your host, Jack Dalton, the mayor of Delaware.
Thank you to TickPick for that sponsorship. It is football season. If you want to buy tickets through TickPick with no extra fees. Tonight's question we have for you is, Dawn, do we have the scoreboard or no?
No, not this week. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll work on that. So tonight's question we have for you is, in what year did the NFL require players to wear a helmet? Again, in what year did the NFL require players to wear a helmet? A, 1943, B, 1940, C, 1944, or D, 1942?
The hardest question we've ever had.
That's what I'm getting harder and harder.
This is actually a great question. I just
put your
texted
answers in the
answer.
comments, and KJ, Dalton, and Josh text me or whatever your answer.
Yeah.
But again, we got Trouble in Paradise. We kind of hit on it top of the show with Fitzy. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts seem to be not on the same page, and Brandon Graham kind of exposed them on WIP on Monday night. So this is concerning. Again, like Fitzy said, with T.O. and McNabb, they were unstoppable. And then after that, after that little beef they had, kind of went downhill from there. But again, I'm not too concerned about this because, I said again, when A.J. Brown had a post-game interview against the Ravens, he said, as long as we win, that's all that matters. And he kind of reiterated that tonight. So, yeah, I mean, we are a run-heavy, I would say this year especially, run-heavy offense. Jalen Hurts is not making smart decisions. He's not really finding the open receiver. He did have that nice pass to A.J. Brown against the Panthers when he kind of threw the ball when A.J. Brown wasn't even looking. But, I think they can squash, this beef because, again, I think Jalen Hurts is the godfather or something of A.J. Brown's kid. So, again, we saw their relationship that draft night when we got A.J. Brown 3 years ago. It's been 2 or 3 years ago.
This is his third season.
Yeah, so 3 years ago, we saw how excited A.J. Brown was to come to Philly. So I'm not too worried about it. Again, WIP, they just love, posting about all this bullshit, and clickbait is like what I like calling, and Dalton loves it. So what do you got, Dalton?
I want to show something real quick to give some context. So this is A.J. Brown's interview directly after the Panthers game, which my read from it is he's just frustrated. He knows that the team underperformed. He's not getting targets, and he immediately has somebody in his face. What do you think about the offense? You know what I mean? He's just upset. Then, like Jack said, there was the interview today that gave a lot more clarity to what he said that I'll play right after. And you can see A.J. Brown says that there's no problem between him and Jalen Hurts, and it was essentially BG being BG. Here's what A.J. and Kellen Moore had to say on it.
Yeah, just a combination. Obviously, I'm going to focus more on trying to find different ways to, increase the likelihood of the ball going to him. Ultimately, the quarterback has to play based off the reaction of the defense and trust that there's progressions within a play. And then, for us, we're always going to evaluate how can we get it to him sooner and create those opportunities. And again, it's really about probability. It's, Now, not every play is going to be able to say 100% of the time it's going to one player in particular, but how can we improve our opportunities there?
What are some things you think that the offense needs to improve on? Passing.
AJ, I know everybody wants to get in a rhythm, and Devontae was acknowledging that. You know, receivers, just like running backs, want to get in rhythm. How hard is it as a receiver to get into a rhythm when you guys are only throwing the ball like 20 times?
Incredibly tough. It seemed like there was a moment on the sideline when you threw your helmet into the bench. What prompted that reaction?
3 and out.
Obviously, there's been a lot of talk, especially from Brandon Graham, about your relationship with Jalen. Do you just want to offer any clarity on what's going on there?
Yeah, BG, just being BG, he's emotional. In that case, he just misspoke. You know, me and Jalen are good, so it's BG. Everybody loves BG. You know, he's speaking from the heart. You know, he's just giving this perception of something on the outside. So.
He's around you guys, you know, all the time, though. Could you see where there might be a misperception based off of?
I think that's what everybody. I think that's what the world did. You know, they perceived what I said about passing and felt like it was an attack on Jalen, and I think that's what he did. You know, me and Jalen relationship is personal. So
there you hear it for yourself from the guy himself, A.J. Brown. So I want to say this. I don't like the whole Instagram profile pic fucking solve the puzzle shit. I'll be the first to say it. There was a meme that I saw on Instagram today where somebody goes, here we go with the annual A.J. Brown drama. I'll say this too. A.J. Brown is misunderstood. I think a lot of the things that he says, he's just misinterpreted. And he's just an emotional guy too, that wants to get the ball, that wants to do what's best for the team. I don't think it's him being selfish. I don't think it's him being upset. I just think he truly knows and understands that they should be and can be better in the passing game. And he demands excellence out of this team. He demands excellence out of his godfather of his kid, Jalen Hurts. So the thing that kind of concerned me was Brandon Graham getting involved. Love Brandon Graham. Probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite Eagle of all time. But it just felt like it's one of those things where, and you guys know, sometimes the best thing to say is nothing at all. But at the same time, you can't really blame Brandon Graham. You also got to blame WIP, who is feeding him these questions. You know what I mean? They're tossing it up as a layup, like basically giving him a way that he's inevitably got to talk about it. Did he say some of the wrong things? Yeah. I mean, you just got to keep those things in the locker room. I will say this. I'm happy that it happened right now because they got time to fix it. It's still early December. There's still time for Nick Sirianni to get the locker room together. And the Eagles haven't lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers since 1965 at home. Last time we played them, we beat the shit out of them. Matt Bear's favorite player, A.J. Brown, dropped 3 touchdowns on the Steelers, absolutely teabagged them, as Matt Bear would probably say if he was here. So I'm excited for it, but I'm not buying into this bullshit. I guess Mac and Zep, you guys are up next.
Yeah. I'll tell you about this. So I hate the whole thing of these players having podcasts because it just sets up for added drama. And also, I mean, like, yes, I know Brandon Graham does his Brandon Graham show, and it's a great show, but 94 did kind of set him up to have some kind of answer like that. So, I mean, that's kind of their fault. I mean, that's just what they do. That's the media. And at the same time, I feel like with AJ and Jalen, though, I knew when AJ said, they said, what is the problem? What do you think the team could do better? And he said passing. I knew that was not a direct shot at Jalen Hurts because I feel like their past, like last year when they had all the crap that was going on and they had their beef, that's all water under the bridge. It's a different day. It's a different year. I feel like it's way different. They seem like they are on a better kind of page now. And I know you're going to be like, no, that's not true because he only had 4 receptions last week and he didn't even have a touchdown. Yes, but here's the thing, though. Jalen had a bad game. And I think that happens. That happens in football. That happens in everything. You have bad days. And I think with AJ and Jalen, though, I was not worried one bit. People were panicking and running and saying, oh, it's 2023 all over again. Oh, my God, we're going to have a collapse again. No, I knew for a fact this is not going to happen. I still know for a fact it's not going to happen. You can write this down. You can even record it. I'm telling you right now, the collapse is not happening. I can see it Right now, nothing is happening because even Sirianni was calm and collective on the radio recently, saying, "Yeah, it's honestly just a little snippet of what else is happening. We're just focusing on the Steelers." And he honestly he didn't give it that much of attention. I mean, he really did the right thing as a coach, which usually he would probably kind of talk about it or he would kind of just ignore it. But I mean, he kind of just said like, "Hey, this team is focusing on what they're focusing on, and they're moving on." And I think AJ and Jalen are going to be fine. I really do think they're going to be fine. And I think AJ is going to actually have a big game despite this. I think he's going to have a huge game because as Dutch said before, he killed the Steelers last time they played them. He was literally taunting the Steelers players. He had some kind of beef with them. I don't know what it is, but I think honestly it's going to be a great game for AJ. I think it's going to be awesome. So he'll be back. They'll be back on track, and we'll get the dub. It'll be all good.
Yeah. So first off, I hate WIP. I would like to give every WIP host like the SAT. I guarantee they can't score above a 900 because they're all idiots.
I don't know if I could get above a 900.
Out of 1600, you definitely could. Second off, love BG. Players can't drink during the season. Well, players shouldn't drink during the season. He's not playing it. He probably showed up to that interview like with way too much Henny in his system. I mean,
no, he didn't. Come on.
I might have. The other thing is like you know what happens in your office, Dalton. But if you come like when Jack comes home and talks to me about stuff that happens at his work, I don't know the whole context, but he thinks I do because like he's already lived it. So that's like one thing where BG probably didn't realize how little like people knew or didn't know. I don't think there's an issue. A.J. Brown didn't call out Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts can play better. The passing attack as a whole has not been great the last 2 weeks. It was good against the Rams. It was good enough against the Rams. It's good enough when it needs to be good enough. Like you can win games without passing when you have Saquon in this offensive line. The other thing is nobody is bringing up Kevin Petula in all this, and a lot of people don't even know who he is. KJ, you know who he is?
He's a QB coach.
Well, yes, but he's also the passing.
Yeah, it's a passing. Yeah, passing.
No, right? Yeah, like I get it. People are idiots. When AJ Brown says passing, everybody's like, "Oh, that means Jalen Hurts." Yes, your quarterback needs to play better, and Jalen Hurts needs to throw the ball better. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff, and plus, show me a good receiver, and I show you a diva. There's only one good receiver in the NFL who's not a diva, and it's Cooper Kupp. That's it. Every other good receiver is a diva.
Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen is
Josh, you just shot your Josh, you just shot your point of your take right now.
Tyreek Hill, great receiver, gets arrested, has like 10 kids a season. Jamar Chase is a psychopath. Justin Jefferson, also nuts.
It's a season.
Jefferson.
Rashad Bateman is not a star receiver. Rashad Bateman is
Isaiah Likely.
That's a tight end.
It's not.
Devontae Smith. Boom.
Yeah, Devontae Smith is actually a good one. That makes sense.
And Devontae Smith is super nice, and they needed to bring somebody like Jeremy Maclin is your Devontae Smith. Real nice, real chill. You need
way better than Maclin, and no disrespect to Maclin. I love Maclin, but Devontae Smith is a Heisman winner.
You need a crazy receiver on your team to win.
Yeah.
Talk about a crazy receiver. The Steelers are like the epitome of that. They have Antonio Brown. They have George Pickens. They have Le'Veon Bell, not a receiver, but that got
and Hines Ward. Antonio Brown doesn't play anymore.
Antonio Brown was the best receiver in the league for like 5 years running. There's a case that he's a top 5 receiver of all time.
Probably top 3, honestly.
Yeah, no. Anyway,
if you're a good receiver, you need to be a diva.
Anyway, we gotta lock the fuck in. This is the battle for Pennsylvania. Both great teams. Eagles are a lot better. The last time the Steelers won in Philadelphia was 1965. This is a big game. Just to be an Eagles fan or a Steelers fan, just to brag about, we're the best team in Pennsylvania. So this is a massive game. This is going to be probably, we had the Ravens game that set us apart from like the pack. This game especially is going to set us apart from the Alpha Wolf. So we got to play great football. We got to get all the bullshit out of our mind about A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, play the fucking game that you get paid millions of dollars to do, and perform great football. Saquon Barkley needs to have, 125, 150 rushing yards. Devontae Smith has to have, 120 receiving yards. A.J. Brown probably have like around 130 and 1 touchdown. So this is a big game for the Eagles, and I think this is going to kind of set us apart, and this goes to show how great this Eagles team is and how they bounce back. Granted, they won last week, but how they bounce back from a shitty overall game and play a great team. So I think, this game is going to be pertinent to the rest of our season.
And you get a chance to sweep the AFC North.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
But honestly, the funny thing is, yes, the Steelers are a good team. This actually is, not super important for, schedule sake because they're, our last AFC opponent, which is funny, even though, everybody's making it out to be, the major matchup. But I still want to win.
I mean, yeah.
Winning this game basically secures you the number 2 seed.
Yeah. We get pray for the Vikings to beat the Lions. But yeah, so
the Bills beat the Lions. Yeah, the Bills, right? Aren't the Bills?
That's what I meant. Bills, my fault.
Yeah, this is going to be the best 425 slate in forever.
Yeah,
2 TVs.
Long time.
Yeah.
Though I will tell
What's
you
the
this.
other game, Josh?
Yeah.
Huh?
What's the other game?
The Lions-Bills play at the same time as us.
Yeah, they do.
Holy shit.
Same time.
Holy shit. Oh,
Same
I'm going to
time.
need a split screen for that. Yeah.
Or
I'm thinking
same
about it in
time.
the back of my head. I'm like, wait, what? But quick week 15 preview for the Eagles. Don't let the Steelers run game get the best of you. It's sneaky. And Russell Wilson has been getting more rushes in it. Russell Wilson has been getting more comfortable with the Steelers. I think Russell Wilson has found his retirement spot, and it's going to be in Pittsburgh. And I think he's going to have Pittsburgh be a playoff team for a couple of years in a row. That's my hot take of the night. But this game for the Eagles, like every game at this point, as we say, is a trap game. Steelers are a way better opponent, though, than the Panthers. So that's why I'm a little bit nervous for this game. It's at home. The Eagles also haven't lost to the Steelers since 1965. It's a fucking long time ago. Blow the dust off. But the Eagles should win this game. They're a better team. Their offensive line, I think, should be able to hold up with TJ Watt, at least for a majority of the game. I'll expect TJ to get 1 or 2 sacks. If he gets 3, then I'm going to be a little bit upset.
So this is either going to be a bloodbath for the Eagles or a really close game. There's no in between. We're either going to win by a lot or win by a little. So
either way, we're winning.
We're going to either win by 20 points or win by a field goal. So, I mean, my score prediction, and then Josh, want to give yours, is going to be I'll do 28-14.
I think it's gonna be low scoring. I think both defenses are gonna ball out. George Pickens is doubtful to play. That helps the Eagles, obviously. I think Eagles 18, Steelers 15.
Oh,
Mac, take it.
It is the Battle of Pennsylvania. It is. Well, I'll tell you this: the Phillies are better than the Pirates. The cheesesteak is better than the Primanti sandwich or the pierogies or whatever the heck. Pittsburgh sucks. It sucks over there. Schittsburg, it sucks. And I know they're like, oh, well, we clean our city. We got a clean place. So we're just Pittsburgh, the better side of Pennsylvania. No, you're not. We are the city of brotherly love, even though we might not show it sometimes. But I do think that the Eagles are the better team than the Steelers, and they are the kings of Pennsylvania. That's what I think. And I think this is going to be, as we were just saying before, I agree with Zepp. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to have to say that A.J. Brown tears it up again. He's going to have 2 touchdowns. I think Saquon's going to have a touchdown as well. I think Jalen Hurts is going to throw for 258 yards, which, you know what? Gets the job done. I think the Eagles win it 21-18. That's my score.
All right. Well, my score is 33-27. 17. I think that the Eagles are going to win it. And then spinning right there over my shoulder, I got the wheel of parlay, which I'll tell you guys here in a second when it stops. Who is going to be the parlay pick of fate? This is going to be
Has it been spinning the whole time?
I think
no, I just started it a couple
Oh.
seconds ago.
Okay,
So the
okay,
wheel of parlay will tell you what team will Dalton bet on this week, a parlay, or not what team, what player will Dalton bet a parlay anytime touchdown on this week. It is. Fuck, it was just on Saquon. It was just
what
on
the
AJ.
heck?
It was just on Gainwell. It's on Calcaterra. It's going back to Gainwell.
It's Gainwell.
Kenneth Gainwell.
Kenji.
I think that
Get
wheel-
ready.
Something's wrong with that wheel, I think, Dolt. Something's wrong
I
with
don't
that
know,
wheel.
man. I don't know if it's fate. I don't know if it's the way I spun it.
I think
we
it's
still got to
fate.
do the bronze
it's
birdie
fate,
here
not
before
fate.
we wrap up,
It's
so we'll
fate.
keep it moving. But this was something I saw today, too, that actually shocked me, that this is actually up for discussion, up for debate. The Philadelphia, and this is something I've been thinking about for a long time now, just for context. I've wanted a retractable roof. That is a sexy thing for me. Being able to host bigger events like the Super Bowl in Philadelphia would be pretty cool. Obviously, we all know that the Super Bowl will never happen in snow again because the NFL is fucking lame and they're a bunch of bozos and won't ever just, have it. Okay, here's an outdoor stadium. I think what they should do is they should rotate it every 32 years. It comes back and each NFL stadium gets to host it. So how I feel about the new stadium rumor with the retractable roof, I'm all for it. Look, Lincoln Financial Field only opened up 21 years ago. But having a retractable roof stadium, this is going to be a facility. No disrespect to the Link. I think that the Link is an extremely well-kept stadium for what it is. But it is cold as shit on certain days. And I'm all for snow games. You guys all know that. But some of those games, it's really cold. And the other thing I wanted to say is getting in and out sometimes is a real hassle. Not even just like parking and driving, like physically walking in. Like you're jammed up with people at certain sections during the game. I know there were multiple points last year where as I was walking through the stadium, there were multiple people here. I know the NFC Championship, shout out to Big Sean, and we randomly met up with Zach Bryan, which was wild that he was there. I didn't even know he was. Big Sean did. But we're like walking through the whole thing with all these people shoulder to shoulder. And in that moment, I kind of thought, okay, I would be okay with the new stadium. I was always the person that's like, Link until I die. Like that's my stadium. I feel that way about Citizens Bank Park, but Citizens Bank Park has their shit together. No disrespect to Lincoln Financial Field. I think that the Eagles are a great franchise and a great team, but I would give Lincoln Financial Field as a rating, maybe like a B-. There's still things that can be fixed. So would giving a retractable roof, in your guys' opinion, fix those problems?
So I started a franchise in Madden 25, right? And my first thing as the GM was to build a new stadium. And you know what I did? I made it a futuristic stadium with a retractable roof. So, I mean, I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be unique. I hope most of the stadiums now, I other than Lambeau, I think more stadiums should have retractable roofs because I just think that's a unique situation. And again, sometimes it's freezing. Like I went to the game last year against the Cardinals. Sad to say I went there and it was freezing out. So I wouldn't mind having a nice retractable stadium. I think, not even the retractable stadium or roof, but widen the seats a lot, widen the walkways, things of that nature. Because again, I've been to a lot of stadiums, and I will say, overall, the Philadelphia stadiums have the tightest seats. So whether that be Citizens Bank Park, Lincoln Financial Field, or Wells Fargo, I think they need to improve that. So I would not be opposed to it.
KJ?
Yeah, I mean, I just heard about this a couple hours ago, and I know my brother is a big fan of having a retractable roof, having a dome, and I know it's like the new futuristic thing. I heard the Browns are going to have an indoor stadium. I actually heard the Bills were going to have one, but now they're not going to have one. I'm kind of with the Bills fans. Like, they like having an outdoor stadium. I mean, I don't mind the cold. I really don't. But I could see why some people are like, oh, it'd be kind of cool to have a retractable roof. It'd be kind of cool to have a new stadium. Obviously, you can't build a dome on top of a stadium already. I don't think you can. I mean, if you can, then you can. But from what I've heard, you can't really do that. So you can't put a dome over the Lincoln Financial Field. So not like it's a tent or whatever like that. But yeah, I think it would be interesting. And maybe Dole is right. Maybe we would be a key destination for a prime Super Bowl. I mean, like we've had other events here. We're going to have the MLB All-Star game like next year or 2026, whenever that is. And then we're going to have the World Cup as well. So I think to have the Super Bowl here would be awesome, and it would be great for the city. But yeah, I think it's interesting to think that they could actually think about making a whole new stadium, potentially knocking down the link and making this futuristic stadium. Because I mean, you see all these teams are getting all these added money. They're getting all these, I mean, the cities are paying for them and everything like that. I mean, it's crazy to think that we could see this league being pretty much like 50-50, maybe even like 80 to 100. I mean, I'm not saying there's 100 stadiums, but I'm saying like with the average being that like, yeah, there's actually more indoor stadiums than outdoor stadiums. Like as Dole said before, though, you got to keep Lambeau outside. With the link, though, I think you can maybe knock it down and maybe get a new stadium. But I'm fine with us keeping an outdoor stadium. I'm fine with whatever happens. I won't be mad at us getting a dome because I think actually, as Dole said before, though, it has some positives to it. And honestly, we would be warm. But I mean, like, I don't mind being cold, though. I've always been like that. I don't really mind it. I mean, once you kind of get beer in your system too, it's like you don't really feel it. Like, I don't really feel it when I got beer.
Mackey's Irish.
I'm Irish. Don't you know it there, laddie?
Once you get the beer in you, laddie.
Don't you know, Dutch? Don't you know? But
yeah, I like that though. But snow games. I mean, I don't want snow games to go away.
Yeah. I want to see a snow game. And I mean, you know this, like we were talking about how Shady was going, like obviously Saquon beat Shady's record recently, but I would love to see this. Maybe, I don't know when it would be, and I haven't seen anything on the forecast because you guys know the weather people suck here, and it's just it is what it is. But I would love to see a Saquon, honestly, just a Philadelphia Eagles game back in the snow, a Snow Bowl. That would be awesome. And then if they said, okay, yeah, 2 more years and we're going to make a stadium or what, which isn't going to happen. But yeah, just one more snow game before we get this indoor stadium. If it happens, that's all I need. I need to see one Snow Bowl. That's it.
You good, Dalton? You good? Why are your AirPods?
No, sorry, I was listening to the wind outside. But yeah, I like how KJ put it. I at least want to see one more snow game on my bucket list, on my fucket list. If I see one more, I'm good. Then you can build the dome. You know, then me and KJ. One day, Junior, we saw the Philadelphia Eagles play in the snow. But
we did. We saw them and threw snowballs at Santa.
Is that what you're gonna sound like as an old man? Oh my God.
I might. You never know.
God bless your grandkids. But segueing into our final segment.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment of the week, the Bronze Birdie, where we select one Eagles player of the week to become the Bronze Birdie. Vote on Twitter right now at 302BIRDS. Vote right now.
Okay, me and KJ both fucking dancing to it.
Before you announce this, make sure it's the right winner.
I got it this week. There was actually a tie. But here are the 4 nominations really quick. If you guys haven't, give us a follow on Twitter at 302BIRDS and you can vote in this weekly. Quinyon Mitchell, 3 total tackles and under 30 yards allowed. I believe it's his 9th straight game with allowing under 30 yards, which is crazy with his opponent. Big play Slay, 6 total tackles, that big pass deflection at the end, two pass deflections on the day stats-wise. CJ 6 total tackles, that clutch pick. Obviously, we know that he was dealing with the injury, came back, and proved to be clutch with that pick. And last but not least, Saquon Barkley did not get in the end zone, had 20 attempts, 124 yards, but averaged 6.2 yards per carry. And surprisingly, I think that's Saquon Barkley's 3rd, 4th, at worst, maybe 5th best on the year, but that's not a normal Eagles game for him, which is the crazy thing. 6.2 yards per carry. Make a budget for window curtains. LOL. You're right, Benny. You're right.
I think Jeffrey is smart enough not to make that mistake that good old Jared Jones made. So I think he's all right. He'll be fine. We'll have the curtains.
No, he won't. But getting into our winner, thank you for the drum roll, Jackson. It's gonna be. It was actually a tie this week between C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who I voted for. I thought should have won it, and also Big Play Slay, the old guy. So it was nice for me to see that Big Play Slay was kind of getting some love on Twitter. I know some of the fans have been crueler to him this year. I think it was somebody on the podcast called him No Play Slay. I forget who it was, but
not me. I didn't say that.
No, it wasn't you. Might have been Tom.
I think it was Tom. Yeah, it was Tom. It was Tom.
Which is pretty funny because he showed up. It might have not been Tom either. It might have been somebody. It might have been Dennis too that said it. But whoever said it, my point is, I remember somebody saying it a couple weeks back. I gotta find it. But he's Big Play Slay again. He's coming up clutch. He made the play. And if you watch on his podcast, I was listening to a little bit of it today while I was driving on lunch. He basically said that he saw the play. He saw it in front of him. And he kind of jumped out, and thank God he made it, because if he didn't, it might have been a lot worse. But he had seen it before on film, and he made the play. Obviously, Xavier Legette, too, dropping that play in the end zone. And the Eagles proved to be really, really good. So I'm happy with the way that they ended that game. I could kind of half see it because shout out to my girlfriend Alyssa and her birthday. Thank you to KJ and Jack for you guys covering on the Eagles post-game show. But I was watching in like this jungle. It's a bar, I think, called Pink Elephant or the Green Elephant. And anyway, they had like this like moss, like kind of like Christmas decorations over the fucking whole place. So I was like this trying to watch the game. So I only got to see so much of it. But it's good to see Big Play Slay back. I know that he was kind of struggling this year. And a lot of Eagles fans were being tougher on him. So I'm happy to see it. KJ, Jack, anything you guys want to say about this tie?
I think the overall winner should be CJ. You know why? Because that motherfucker was, not a cancer, but he called out Philadelphia, came back, and, is a different player now. And he is a warrior. He is a wounded warrior. He came back out on the field because how important this game was, how important this win was. So I'd probably give it to CJ, battling through an injury. That tells you the grit he has, the badassery he has. So I would give it to him.
KJ?
Yeah, I would probably give it to CJ, or I would probably give it to Quinyon, just because Quinyon has just been so impressive. I mean, for a rookie, Guantanamo Bay. This whole perspective, this whole narrative that he has, I freaking love it. And I think Quinyon is just he's impressive. Same with Cooper DeJean as well. They're both really impressive for being rookies. So yeah, I would probably give it to Quinyon or CJ, because CJ, as Jack just said, yeah, he's been balling out, and he persevered through an injury, and he called up the city. But there was even some people that called him a sellout. Dalton knows who I'm talking about, but some people called him a sellout. But yeah, I don't think he's a sellout, but
and not to go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was saying, not to mention he had that big hit too.
Yeah, he had a really big hit. It was
on Legette. Yeah, that was a massive hit. That was a big breakup. So
yeah, that was good to see, because you can't really. It's hard to really figure out. In general, right now, you don't really see big hits anymore in the NFL, and it's unfortunate. And I get it, though; they want to keep players safe. But yeah, you really don't see big hits like that anymore. It was good to see a player like that deliver it and deliver the hit, not get anything called, not have any bull crap called on him or anything like that, because it was a clean hit. It totally was a clean hit. And it was almost Dawkins, Malcolm Jenkins like. It was awesome to see. I mean, he really caused some havoc there. So I was hoping it would kind of set the tone. It didn't really set the tone, but they still got the win. So
still got the win. The most important thing, if you guys want to vote in the Bronze Birdie next week, please check us out on Twitter at 302birds. Zane, we appreciate you for joining tonight. Benny, we appreciate you for joining tonight. Everybody else in the comments, I know we have Matt Barron here, Josh Siegel, CJ Rome, Ryan Swoop. It was great to see you again, man. Thank you for joining if you're still here. Terrell Johnson, Dennis, Joseph, Chaos Chris. I mean, the list goes on and on. But we appreciate Shardy. We appreciate all you guys. Conrad. I mean, Conrad has literally been at every show, I think, for the past 3 fucking years.
Havens.
So
Havens too.
From the bottom, and Havens, of course, from the bottom of our heart, everybody else that I didn't name, thank you guys for what you do. I appreciate you guys, and Merry freaking Christmas. Hopefully the Eagles will get the W this week. And getting into our last segment.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dalton, the mayor of Delaware.
Thank you to TickPick for that sponsorship. Like I said, it's Eagle season. Buy your tickets through TickPick. No exorbitant fees. Additional fees. There we go. Sorry. So tonight's question, I'll be quick because I know everyone wants to get off. In what year did the NFL require players to wear a helmet? Again, in what year did the NFL require players to wear a helmet? A, 1943, B, 1940, C, 1944, or D, 1942? KJ, put your answer in the private chat real quick because I haven't gotten yours yet.
Yeah. Well, you said A, or you said what did you say again for the years?
A, 1943, B, 1940, C, 1944, and D, 1942.
Okay, gotcha.
I love Zane's answer, 1934.
Yeah. So, without further ado, I didn't see any right answers in the comment section. Without further ado, tonight's trivia question answer is A, 1943.
Wow.
1943 is when they decided to use helmets. So from the team, Josh did get it right. Before he went, he told me his answer. KJ got it wrong.
I was close, bro. I was like 2 years off.
Yeah, you were. Dalton was the closest. He said 1942. But yeah, that is tonight's trivia. Without further ado, he said Ted totally didn't look at that answer. Without further ado, Dalton, we still have another next show. We have another show next week, so don't say Merry Christmas yet. But we appreciate everyone who's been on the show tonight. We had like 34, 35.
And one more announcement, too. Next week after the show, if you guys watch Fox 29, your boy will be there. I'll be there in person. So you can get the doubleheader next week. You can come watch our show, and then you can come watch Dalt on the Fantastic Sports Show. I'll be hanging out with them. But take us out of here, Jackson.
Yeah, without further ado, we didn't say this in the chat, but next week we'll have a sweater episode. So wear your Christmas sweater, on the show. But yeah, without further ado, God bless, go Birds. Hey, Josh, it's an outro, not an intro. Hit that motherfucking outro.
What we got? 302BIRDS, Keystone State.
Go Birds.